So we had 225 degrees, 315 degrees. We'll go ahead and convert them. 225 over 1 times pi over 180. If you got 45 as your reference angle, so 45 is going to go into all this. 45 goes into 180 4 times. One more 45 would give you 225. So that would be 5 pi over 4. So we have 5 pi over 4. And now keep in mind a full circle is 2 pi, which as fourths would be 8 pi fourths. We just knocked 145 off of that, so 1 pi. So the other one for 315 would be 7 pi over 4. And again, if that part doesn't make sense to you, then write it out. 315 over 1 times pi over 180. Simplify it that way, it'll still come out to the same thing. So both, however you want to do it is cool with me. Let's try cosine of -1, inverse of cosine equals -1. Now cosine is our x-coordinate. When is the x-coordinate -1? Well, that's going to be right on one of those quadrants. So like to the right would be 1, 0, up here would be 0, 1, over here would be -1, 0, and down here would be 0, -1. So the only time that x is equal to -1 would be right here. Now, what is the degree over there? That's 180 degrees. That's the only time the cosine will equal -1. So if we were to convert that into radians, remember 180 degrees is just equal to pi radians. Cool. All right. The inverse is 0. The tangent equals 0. So remember, tangent is y divided by x. So how can that equal 0? Well, the numerator would have to equal 0. So when do we have y equals 0 here? Let's look at what we just drew. Right here and right here, the y equals 0. So over here is 180 degrees. And over here is 0 degrees, but let's actually write it as 360 degrees. Now converting those into radians, 180 is pi radians, and 360, one full circle, is 2 pi radians. All right, we're halfway there on the notes. When the sign comes out to √3/2, it's positive, so where do we have positive sign, which is our y? That would be in quadrant 1 and quadrant 2. How can we get it equal to √3/2? The sign is our y, so when can we have 3 fingers on the right? That's if our pointer finger's down, which is a 60-degree reference angle. So let's use our knowledge of reference angles and the quadrants and figure out our 2 degrees. Quadrant 1 is easy. The reference angle is the angle. Quadrant 2, we have to do 180 minus our reference angle, which will give us 120 degrees. Convert it if you want. Or, remember, how many 60s go into 180? 3. So 60 degrees would be pi over 3. 120 is 60 times 2. So this would be 2 pi over 3. Awesome. How about when the cosine equals positive √3/2? Cosine is our x. So when is the x positive? In quadrant 1 and in quadrant 4. How can we have the x, which is our left fingers, how can we have 3 fingers on the left? I'm running out of time. To be continued.